Chosen one, something happened that you didn't see, something so vast, so ancient, so sacred, it moved without sound, without warning, rearranging the very core of your existence. The ground beneath your feet shifted, and though you may not have heard it, your soul knew. It knew before your mind could catch up. It knew in the restless nights, in the strange pull towards something you couldn't name. It knew in the sudden emptiness of what once felt full. Hidden magic moved on your behalf, without your permission, without your awareness, without the noise of an announcement. It moved in the invisible corridors of destiny, realigning your life towards something so much greater than you had planned. And now, chosen one, you find yourself standing in a space that feels unfamiliar. The colors of your world seem different. The air vibrates with a new rhythm. You are not imagining it. You are not losing your mind. You are witnessing the effects of a sacred recalibration that was always meant to happen. The path you were walking was never set in stone. The plans you once held tightly were never the true design. The battles you fought, the heartbreaks you endured, the detours that confused you, they were never random. They were the unseen hands, gently but firmly steering you into the alignment of your higher calling. Even the moments that felt like devastating losses were not punishment. They were preparation. Even the relationships that crumbled without explanation were not failures. They were necessary endings. Even the dreams that slipped through your fingers were not mistakes. They were sacred redirections. The hidden magic that shifted your destiny has been working in your life since before you drew your first breath. Since before you took your first step. It has waited patiently, moved stealthily, prepared carefully. For the exact moment when your soul was ready to awaken to its true course. And that moment is now. You may feel disoriented. You may feel like the old maps no longer guide you. You may feel like everything familiar is slipping away. Good. It means you are right where you're supposed to be. Because destiny, real destiny, rarely announces itself with comfort. It arrives through disruption. It speaks through endings. It calls through confusion. The life you thought you were building was too small for the magnitude of who you are becoming, and so it had to fall apart. Not to punish you, to liberate you, to free you from the cages you didn't even realize you had constructed around your own soul, to break the patterns that would have kept you spinning in circles, to shatter the illusions that would have dimmed your light. Chosen one, hidden magic is not polite. It does not wait for convenience. It does not apologize for the chaos it causes because it knows something you forgot. You didn't come here for ordinary. You didn't come here to fit in. You came here to ignite, to awaken, to ascend. The forces that moved behind the veil of your life did not act randomly. They acted with precision, with love, with a wisdom that far exceeds human understanding. They saw where your fear would have kept you small. They saw where your loyalty to the wrong things would have chained you. They saw where your dreams had settled for safety instead of soaring toward the unknown. And they intervened. They shifted what you could not shift on your own. They moved what you would not have dared move. And now you are here, at the threshold of everything you were always meant to become. It may feel like you have lost everything, but what you have truly lost are the layers that no longer fit the spirit rising inside you. You are being stripped to your essence. You are being purified by fire. You are being prepared for a life so vast, so luminous, that the old structures could never have contained it. And yes, it hurts, it confuses, it isolates, but it also liberates. It frees you from false attachments. It severs you from misplaced loyalties. It lifts you above the noise and into the clarity of your true calling. You don't have to understand every step. You don't have to see the full map. You only need to trust the pull you feel deep inside, the quiet knowing that even when everything looks uncertain, something ancient and sacred is guiding you. You are not lost. You are being rerouted. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. You are not falling apart. You are falling into place. Hidden magic doesn't consult your fears before it acts. It doesn't ask your mind for permission. It listens only to the call of your soul, the original blueprint of your existence. And when the time comes, it moves with force and finality. That is what you are experiencing now, a cosmic alignment, a soul-level shift. And though your human senses may struggle to comprehend it, your spirit already recognizes it. That's why you feel the restlessness, the urgency, the pull toward a life that hasn't fully revealed itself yet. You are not imagining it. You are awakening to it. The river of destiny is flowing faster now. It is sweeping away everything that cannot survive in the frequency you are rising into. Let it. Let the old crumble. Let the familiar fade. Let the comfort of yesterday dissolve. Because what is coming is far greater than anything you are leaving behind. You are being summoned higher, not by force, but by the gravity of your own becoming. The version of you that was content with survival is being replaced by the version of you that is designed for victory. The version of you that accepted smallness is being eclipsed by the version of you that demands expansion. The version of you that feared change is being overtaken by the version of you that rides the winds of transformation without apology. Chosen one, this is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your true story. The silent shift you never saw coming was not a detour. It was your deliverance. It was the universe, the divine, the hidden magic saying, "Enough waiting, it's time." And so here you are, on sacred ground, in sacred transition. You don't need to know what's next. You only need to stay surrendered to the flow that has carried you this far. Trust it, follow it, honor it, because it will not lead you astray. You are closer now than you have ever been. Closer to the life that was seeded in you before you took your first breath. Closer to the dreams you barely dared to whisper. Closer to the encounters, the alignments, the blessings that have been circling your soul, waiting for your readiness. And you are ready, even if you don't feel like it, even if you are trembling, even if you are weeping, you are ready. Because readiness is not about perfection, it's about willingness. And your willingness has moved mountains you cannot even see yet. Chosen one, stay awake, stay expectant, stay anchored in the truth that no matter how it looks right now, you are exactly where you are meant to be. The hidden magic that shifted your destiny without warning is not finished with you. It is only just beginning. The journey ahead will not be easy, but it will be worth it. You will not always understand, but you will always be guided. You will not always feel strong, but you will always be carried. Because you are not walking this path alone. You never were. You were chosen for this shift. And now it's time to walk forward, not with fear, but with fire, because the life that awaits you is greater than the life you are leaving behind. And you, chosen one, are ready to rise. Chosen one, there was a moment you thought everything had shattered beyond repair. You stood in the rubble of the life you once knew, your hands trembling, your heart heavy, wondering how everything you built could crumble so quickly, so ruthlessly. You asked yourself, "What did I do wrong?" You whispered in the dark, "Why is everything falling apart?" But what if I told you it wasn't falling apart at all? It was falling into place. The hidden magic that moved through your life, unseen and unstoppable, knew what you could not. It saw the cracks you had learned to ignore. It saw the illusions you mistook for stability. It saw the smallness you settled for, even as your spirit cried out for more. And so it moved, not to hurt you, not to punish you, but to save you, to pull you out of the cycles that would have kept you trapped, to tear you away from attachments that could never nourish your soul, to dismantle the versions of your life that were built on fear instead of faith. The collapse you thought would destroy you was the catalyst for your deliverance, because chosen one, you were never meant to live a life built on half-truths and compromised dreams. You were meant to blaze a path so authentic, so powerful that it could only emerge from the ashes of everything false. And that required a breaking so deep it shook the very foundations you once called home. It's why the relationships that once defined you dissolved. It's why the dreams you once clung to slipped through your fingers. It's why the places you once felt comfortable became unbearable. The hidden magic behind your destiny wasn't interested in preserving your comfort. It was committed to preserving your calling. And sometimes calling requires a collapse. It requires the dismantling of all that is safe but small. It requires the demolition of all that is familiar but false. It requires the sacred violence of love, strong enough to tear down what would ultimately cage your spirit. And that's what you lived through. The nights you wept without answers, the days you walked numb through the motions, the moments you questioned your worth, your path, your very identity. They weren't signs that you were forsaken, they were signs that you were being forged, because real destiny isn't birthed in ease, it's born in fire. You didn't lose everything, you lost what was not aligned with where you are going. You didn't fail, you were freed. Freed from people who couldn't walk with your calling, freed from dreams too small for your future, freed from versions of yourself too timid to carry the power within you. And yes, it hurt. It gutted you, it stripped you bare, but it also made space. Space for the new, space for the vast, space for the holy. You were emptied so you could be filled. You were torn so you could be rebuilt. You were silenced so you could hear the deeper call of your soul. The magic that shifted your destiny didn't need your approval. It needed your availability. It needed your willingness to walk through the wilderness, even when the landmarks of your old life disappeared. It needed your stubborn faith, your relentless hope, your quiet surrender. And chosen one, you gave it. Even when you thought you were failing, you were actually saying yes. Yes to the unseen path. Yes to the sacred unknown. Yes to the life that has been waiting for your arrival. That's why you're still here. Not because you figured it all out, not because you never stumbled, but because something deep inside you refused to give up. Something ancient, something fierce, something eternal. The part of you that remembers why you came. The part of you that knows destiny doesn't bow to difficulty. And now, because you stayed, because you surrendered, because you dared to trust even when you had every reason not to, you are closer than ever, closer to the miracles that will look like sudden explosions of blessing to others, but will feel to you like the natural consequence of all you endured. Closer to the doors that will swing open at just the right moment, revealing why every closed door before now had to slam shut. Closer to the connections that will feel like divine appointments rather than random encounters. You are not who you were before the breaking. You are stronger, you are sharper, you are softer where it matters and harder where it counts. You have been fortified, not so you can merely survive the next chapter, but so you can build it with hands steady and heart unshakable. Everything that was stripped away made room for what's about to rise. Everything you thought you lost was clearing space for what is destined to stay. You are entering a season of restoration, but not restoration to what you had before. Restoration to something far greater than you dared to dream when you were living small. But the old had to be cleared first. The ground had to be tilled, the roots had to be pulled up. Otherwise, the seeds of your destiny would have had nowhere to grow. Chosen one, you are fertile ground now. You are ready ground. You are sacred ground. The shift you didn't see coming was never meant to ruin you. It was meant to ready you, to align you, to activate you, to accelerate you. And though it felt like a death, it was actually a rebirth. You are not walking into this next season as a survivor of the storm. You are walking into it as the storm, the force that cannot be denied, the voice that cannot be silenced, the light that cannot be dimmed, because you have already endured what most could not, and you endured it not by accident, but by assignment. You were trusted with the breaking, because you are trusted with the building. The hidden magic that shifted your destiny wasn't random. It was strategic, it was surgical, it was sacred, and it's still moving, still aligning, still clearing the path ahead. Your only job now is to keep stepping forward, one breath at a time, one decision at a time, one whispered yes at a time, even when you can't see what's coming, even when the ground still feels shaky, even when the ache of what you lost still lingers. Move, because every step you take is a declaration. I am ready. Ready to carry the dream seeded in my soul, ready to live the life that called me long before I could comprehend it, ready to embody the power I was always meant to wield. You are not who you used to be, and you are not where you used to be. You are standing in the aftermath of sacred reconstruction, and what looks like ruins to the world is actually the foundation of your reign. Chosen one, the hidden magic hasn't abandoned you. It has ushered you into a realm where miracles are the norm, not the exception. A realm where favor chases you, where alignments find you, where doors open without you having to knock. You are being carried by a current stronger than your fear. You are being guided by a hand gentler than your sorrow. You are being propelled by a force more faithful than your doubt. Trust it. Trust the breaking, trust the rebuilding, trust the journey that has made you who you are, because everything that fell apart didn't destroy you. It positioned you, and everything that's about to fall into place will feel like home. Because it is, it always has been. It was just waiting for you to arrive. Chosen one, the heaviness you feel isn't the weight of your end. It's the shedding of what was never truly yours to carry. There are losses you still mourn. There are names you still whisper in the silence. There are dreams you still cradle in the tender corners of your heart, wondering why they slipped through your fingers. You loved deeply, you hoped fully, you believed honestly, and yet still they left. Still they ended. Still they fell apart. You ask yourself, did I fail? You wonder, could I have done something more? You ache with the silent weight of what could have been. But hear this, the things you lost were never meant to stay. Not because you weren't good enough, not because you weren't worthy, but because their season in your story was complete. Hidden magic moved through your life with purpose. It saw the entanglements that would have delayed your destiny. It saw the attachments that would have dulled your shine. It saw the anchors that would have kept you tethered to a frequency far too low for where you are being called. And so it moved swiftly, silently, strategically. It severed the cords you were too loyal to cut. It closed the doors you were too hopeful to shut. It ended the chapters you would have kept reading long after their purpose was fulfilled, not to hurt you, to free you, to create space where stagnation had taken root, to make room for the alignments your soul truly needs, to prepare you for connections, dreams, and missions that resonate with your rising vibration. You see, chosen one, destiny is not sentimental. It does not prioritize comfort over calling. It does not bow to nostalgia when transformation demands sacrifice. Destiny demands movement, and movement often means leaving behind what no longer moves with you. The people who walked away were not meant to cross into this next chapter. The opportunities that slipped away were not aligned with your unfolding mission. The dreams that dissolved were too small for the landscape you are now meant to build upon. It feels brutal, it feels personal, it feels unfair, but in truth, it is sacred. It is protection disguised as loss. It is mercy disguised as endings. It is love disguised as loneliness. Because had you clung to what was familiar, you would have missed what is phenomenal, and hidden magic knows you too well to let that happen. It knows the blueprint of your becoming. It knows the resonance of your soul. It knows the heights your spirit is designed to reach. And it will not let attachments that no longer serve you define your future. That's why the pruning came. That's why the losses felt so surgical, so precise. Every strand cut, every bond released, every door closed, not to leave you barren, but to make you abundant. You were not being abandoned, you were being aligned. And alignment sometimes feels like abandonment when you don't see the full map. But chosen one, heaven has always had the full map. The unseen hand guiding you has never been confused. The sacred force behind your destiny has never doubted your worth, your potential, your importance. You have not been disqualified. You have been designated. You have not been discarded. You have been distinguished. The losses that broke your heart were not endings. They were transitions. Transitions out of the life you thought you wanted and into the life your soul actually needs. And though you may not understand it yet, every goodbye, every no, every collapse carried a blessing you couldn't see in the moment. The blessing of freedom, the blessing of clarity, the blessing of authentic alignment. Because only by losing what wasn't truly yours could you recognize what has been yours all along. The dreams that survived the fire, those are the dreams you were born to build. The desires that persisted through the storm, those are the desires that align with your soul's true blueprint. The vision that grew clearer in the silence. Those are the visions seeded in you by divine design. Nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the prayers, not the aching confusion. It all worked together to strip away what couldn't go where you're going. And now, standing in this sacred in-between, you are lighter, you are clearer, you are freer. You may not feel that yet. You may still be mourning what was. You may still be aching for what could have been. That's okay. Grief is sacred too. Honor it, but do not let it blind you to the beauty of what's unfolding. Because just beyond this valley of loss, a new landscape is rising. A landscape of new alliances, born not out of survival, but out of resonance. A landscape of new opportunities, crafted not out of desperation, but out of destiny. A landscape of new dreams, planted not by fear, but by faith. You are not empty. You are being redefined. You are not forsaken. You are being fortified. You are not ending. You are evolving, and the hidden magic that orchestrated these shifts will not abandon you in the aftermath. It will continue to move ahead of you, clearing the way. It will continue to weave connections you haven't even imagined yet. It will continue to open doors you thought were forever sealed. Because you said yes. Yes to the unknown. Yes to the uncomfortable. Yes to the higher calling that refuses to let you settle for less. And because of that, you are about to walk into spaces you didn't even know were being prepared for you. Spaces where your presence will be recognized without explanation. Spaces where your gifts will be celebrated without competition. Spaces where your soul will breathe freely without shrinking or striving. But first you had to let go. Let go of the dreams that no longer matched your frequency. Let go of the people who could not carry the weight of your calling. Let go of the versions of yourself that were built around survival rather than sovereignty. Chosen one, you didn't lose your future. You made room for it. And now it's rushing toward you faster than you realize. The alignments you need are already seeking you. The opportunities you crave are already forming around you. The breakthroughs you prayed for are already breaking through. You are not waiting for destiny. Destiny has been waiting for you to become light enough to fly. And now you are. You are ready. Ready to move without the baggage, ready to rise without the anchors, ready to become without the chains. So grieve if you must. Weep if you need, but do not stop moving, because every step you take now is sacred. Every breath you draw now is blessed. Every yes you whisper now is unlocking doors you thought were closed forever. The things you lost were never meant to stay, but the life that's coming, it was always meant to find you, and now it has. Chosen one. You have walked through seasons where the silence felt unbearable, where the walls seemed to close in tighter each day, where the people you once called home faded into shadows, and the paths you once ran freely became narrow and unfamiliar. There were moments you sat in the stillness asking, why did everyone leave? Why does no one understand me anymore? Where did all the noise, all the color, all the comfort go? And the answer, though not whispered to your ears at the time, was engraved upon your soul long before you ever knew to ask. Your isolation was a divine protection. You were not abandoned, you were concealed, hidden in plain sight by forces far greater than you could perceive, shielded from energies that would have poisoned your promise, sequestered from influences that would have diluted your destiny. Because not everyone can walk where you are going. Not everyone can breathe the atmosphere your spirit was designed to live in. Not everyone can handle the brilliance of your emerging light. And so, chosen one, the hidden magic moved once again. This time not to tear you away from the wrong things, but to tuck you safely into a space where you could grow without interference. Isolation is not punishment, it is preparation. It is the sacred cocoon where the wings of your becoming are stitched together. It is the silent forge where the weapons of your future battles are tempered. It is the secret garden where the seeds of your destiny are allowed to take root, away from trampling feet and careless hands. In your isolation, you found parts of yourself you had forgotten. In your isolation, you faced fears that had long crouched in the corners of your soul. In your isolation, you heard whispers of your higher calling that the noise of the world had drowned out. The loneliness you mourned was actually space being cleared for divine intimacy. The disconnection you fought was actually an invitation into deeper alignment. The absence you grieved was actually the presence of something greater moving into position. And though it felt cruel, it was compassion. And though it felt harsh, it was holy. And though it felt like the end, it was the beginning of your truest unfolding. You were being tucked away because your spirit was too precious to be contaminated. You were being shielded because your vision was too sacred to be distorted. You were being hidden because your destiny was too explosive to be delayed. And while you mourned what you thought you lost, heaven rejoiced at what you were gaining. Freedom from distractions, freedom from compromises, freedom from half-lived dreams and half-loved lives. In your hiding, you were being healed. The wounds you thought would never close began to knit together in the silence. The doubts you thought would never leave began to evaporate in the stillness. The fears you thought would rule you forever began to crumble in the presence of your growing faith. Isolation was the soil of your resurrection. It was in the hidden places that your roots grew deep enough to hold the weight of the coming harvest. It was in the silent seasons that your spirit became sturdy enough to sustain the storms of your future influence. And it is because of that hidden work, because of the invisible battles you fought and won, that you are now ready to emerge. Not as you were, but as who you have always been, stripped of the need for approval, freed from the addiction to noise, rooted in the unwavering truth of your own divine blueprint. You are not who you were before the isolation. You are refined. You are radiant. You are ready, and now the hidden magic that once pulled you away is about to propel you forward. The season of hiding is ending. The season of unveiling is beginning, and when you step into the light, it will not be timid. It will not be hesitant. It will not be with apology. It will be with authority, with clarity, with a resonance so strong that those who are meant to find you will recognize you instantly, and those who are not will flee without explanation, because your frequency has changed. Your soul sings a new song now, a song only the aligned can hear. You no longer need to convince anyone of your worth. You no longer need to shrink to fit the smallness of those who feared your growth. You no longer need to explain the calling that was placed on your life before you ever had words to describe it. You are emerging whole. You are emerging true. You are emerging sovereign, and every moment of isolation was building to this. Every tear you cried in the secret was watering the ground you are about to run upon. Every lonely night was softening your heart for the people you are destined to lead. Every unanswered question was forging the wisdom you will soon pour into thirsty souls. Chosen one, you were hidden because you were holy. You were isolated because you were anointed. You were separated because you were saturated with favor, with vision, with unstoppable purpose. And the hidden magic that orchestrated it all has not left you. It has been weaving opportunities behind the veil. It has been stirring hearts you haven't met yet. It has been preparing platforms you haven't seen yet, all waiting for the moment you are released. And that moment is near, closer than your fear suggests, closer than your doubts believe, closer than your weary heart dares to hope. The walls that once enclosed you are about to fall away. The doors that once remained sealed are about to swing wide. The paths that once seemed blocked are about to clear before you like mist before the rising sun, because you endured the isolation, because you honored the stillness, because you trusted the hidden magic even when it made no sense. You have been entrusted with more, and now you are being entrusted with the unveiling. You will not have to chase. You will not have to plead. You will not have to prove. Your very being will announce what heaven has been preparing, and those who have the eyes to see, the ears to hear, the hearts to recognize, you will find them effortlessly. They have been waiting for you as you have been prepared for them. So rise, chosen one. Rise without fear. Rise without apology. Rise without hesitation. You have not been buried. You have been planted, and now it is your season to bloom. The isolation was not your end. It was your incubation, and what is about to be birthed through you will shake the very ground beneath your feet and light fires of awakening everywhere you go. You are ready, you are radiant, you are rising, and nothing can stop what hidden magic has already set into motion. Chosen one, it's easy to wonder why the road was so brutal for you, why the losses seemed heavier, why the battles lasted longer, why the nights stretched darker than they ever should have. It's not because you were forgotten. It's not because you were forsaken. It's because your spirit was chosen to endure what others could not. You were never meant for an ordinary life. You were never designed for shallow dreams or safe journeys. The hidden magic saw the blueprint written in your soul, the callings, the missions, the worlds you would one day touch, and it knew you needed to be fortified, not fragile. So the fires came, the storms raged, the winds howled, and you endured, not because you always felt strong, but because deep down, something ancient in you refused to let go. Even when everything in you screamed for escape. Even when the weight crushed your chest and stole your breath. Even when silence stretched so long, you feared you had been left behind. Still you stayed, still you hoped. Still you whispered yes through tears you couldn't explain. And chosen one, heaven heard every yes, every trembling step forward, every breathless prayer in the dark. Every refusal to quit when quitting seemed easier. You didn't endure by accident. You were being forged. Every heartbreak carved out deeper spaces for compassion. Every loss rooted resilience into your bones. Every delay strengthened the muscles of your patience and your faith. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. Prepared for a life that doesn't crumble under pressure. Prepared for dreams that require stamina, not just excitement. Prepared for influence that demands character, not just charisma. Because, chosen one, some callings are too heavy for shallow roots, and your roots now run deep. They run deeper than the wounds you carry, deeper than the doubts that try to rise, deeper than the fear that occasionally knocks at your door. You are anchored, and that anchoring came not through ease, but through endurance. Others saw the fires and turned away. You saw the fires and walked through. Others heard the silence and chose to numb. You heard the silence and leaned closer. Others tasted loss and chose bitterness. You tasted loss and chose transformation. You didn't just survive the hidden storms. You became the storm, the evidence that endurance births authority, the proof that breaking does not destroy the chosen, It defines them. Chosen one, every tear you wept was a seed. Every silent surrender was a brick laid in the foundation of a future no storm will shake. And now the ground beneath you is solid. You no longer move at the mercy of circumstance. You no longer chase validation from places too small to understand you. You no longer seek permission to dream, to build, to blaze. You know who you are, and you know what you've survived to stand here. The world may see the victories about to unfold. They may applaud the doors that open, the opportunities that flood in. But you will know the truth. The real miracle wasn't the blessing, it was the becoming. It was who you had to become to carry the blessing without breaking. It was who you had to become to steward the light without burning out. It was who you had to become to lead others, not from theory, but from testimony. Because you carry testimony now, not of easy wins, but of hard-won wisdom, not of surface faith, but of battle-tested belief, not of borrowed courage, but of earned authority. And that, chosen one, is a power few possess, because it cannot be faked. It cannot be manufactured, it must be lived. And you have lived it. Every scar on your spirit tells a story of survival. Every wrinkle on your soul maps a journey few would dare attempt. Every beat of your heart drums the anthem of the unbreakable. You are unbreakable, not because you never broke down, but because every breakdown became a breakthrough. You are indomitable, not because you never stumbled, but because you rose every single time. You are invincible, not because you never wept, but because your tears became rivers that carried you to higher ground. Chosen one, your spirit was chosen because it is capable, because it remembers the promise whispered before time began, that you would endure what others could not, that you would rise where others fell, that you would shine when others were swallowed by darkness. And now, the time of endurance is giving way to the time of emergence. The season of hidden battles is giving way to the season of visible breakthroughs. The time of silent prayers is giving way to the time of shouted praise. You are ready to carry the blessings your spirit fought for, ready to walk through the doors your faith unlocked, ready to steward the miracles your endurance made room for. And as you rise, chosen one, you will not rise alone. You will rise carrying the dreams of your ancestors. You will rise breaking chains for those who come after you. You will rise lighting paths for those still lost in the dark, because that is who you are, not just a survivor, not just a fighter, but a forerunner, a pioneer, a living, breathing miracle of hidden magic in motion. So step forward, not with fear but with fire, not with hesitation, but with holy confidence, because what's ahead isn't just your reward, it's your reveal, and the world is about to see the spirit that endured what few could and became unstoppable because of it. Chosen one, I know it felt like everything you knew about yourself was stripped away, like the ground gave out beneath you, leaving nothing but questions in the empty space. But hear me, you didn't lose yourself. You found the truest part of you, the one the world tried to bury, the one fear tried to silence, the one you almost forgot existed. Hidden magic didn't come to erase you, it came to reveal you. The old layers had to fall away, the masks had to crack, the attachments had to be severed, because the life you were meant for required the real you, raw, unfiltered, and unstoppable. You were never meant to be the version of yourself that settled for half-truths. You were never designed to be the one who shrank to fit into small spaces. You were never called to live caged by comfort. That ache you felt, that confusion you endured, it was the sound of your soul waking up. Waking up to the power you forgot you had, waking up to the light you were born to carry, waking up to the truth that you are more than the sum of your survival. Chosen one, the journey was brutal because the treasure inside you is sacred, and sacred things are never left unguarded. They are protected, refined, hidden until the appointed time, and now that time has come. You don't walk forward as a survivor, you walk forward as a sovereign. You don't carry wounds, you carry wisdom. You don't wear chains, you wear crowns. The world may not recognize you at first. They may still call you by the name of who you used to be. Let them. You know better now. You know who you are. You know what it costs to remember, and you will never again apologize for the space you take up. You will never again question the fire burning inside you. You will never again dim your brilliance to comfort the insecure. You are not who you were before the hidden magic shifted your destiny. You are the living proof that storms can refine without destroying. You are the living proof that endings birth beginnings far more beautiful than you dared dream. So rise, chosen one, not timidly, not cautiously, but boldly. Because everything you thought you lost was simply making room for everything you were always meant to become. And now you are ready. More ready than you feel, more powerful than you know, more needed than you realize. The world is waiting for the fullness of your light, and you are finally free to shine without apology.